Enki 3, third video that is. Now the oath was undone, like a broken jar in useless pieces. The two sons full of glee, with quickened step from Enlil's chamber emerged. For the weapons departing, the other gods turned back to their cities. None of his own calamity had the foreboding. Now this is the account of the prior times and of the weapons of terror. Before the prior times was the beginning. After the prior times were the olden times. In the olden times the gods came to earth and created the earthlings. In the prior times none of the gods was on earth, nor were the earthlings yet fashioned. In the prior times the abode of the gods was on their own planet. Nibiru is its name. A great planet, reddish in radiance, around the sun, an elongated circuit Nibiru makes. For a time in the cold is Nibiru engulfed, for part of its circuit by the sun strongly is it heated, a thick atmosphere Nibiru envelops by volcanic eruptions constantly fed. All manner of life this atmosphere sustains. Without it there will be only perishing. In the cold period, the outer heat of Nibiru keeps about the planet like a warm coat that is constantly renewed. In the hot period it shields Nibiru from the sun's scorching rays. In the mist rains it holds and releases to lakes and streams giving rise. Lush vegetation our atmosphere feeds and protects. All manner of life in its waters are on the land of the sprout it caused. After eons of our time, our own species sprouted by our own essence an eternal seed to procreate. As our numbers grew to many regions, Nibiru our center spread. Some tilled the land, some four-legged creatures shepherded. Some lived in the mountains, some in the valleys, their home made. Rivalries occurred, encroachments happened, clashes occurred, sticks became weapons, clans gathered into tribes, and two great nations each other faced. The nation of the north against the nation of the south took up their arms. What was held by hand to thrusting missiles was turned. Weapons of thunder and brilliance increased the terror. A war long and fierce engulfed the planet. Brother amassed against brother. There was death and destruction both north and south. For many circuits desolation reigned in the land. All life was diminished. Then a truce was declared, then peacemaking was conducted. Let the nations be united. The emissaries said to one another, let there be a throne in Nibiru, one king to reign over all. Let a leader from the north or from south by lot be chosen, one king supreme to be. If he be from north, let south choose a female to be his spouse, as equal queen to reign alongside. If by lot a south male be chosen, let the north female be a spouse. Husband and wife let them be as one flesh to become. Let their firstborn son be the successor. Let the unified dynasty thus be formed. Unity on Nibiru forever to establish. In the midst of the ruins, peace was started. North and south by marriage were united. The world thrown into one flesh combined, an unbroken line of kingship established. The first king after peace was made, a warrior of the north he was, a mighty commander. By lot's true and fair he was chosen. His decrees in unity were accepted. For his abode he built a splendid city, Agade. Unity, it means. For his reign a royal title he was granted, and it was the celestial one was its meaning. A-N it was, that's the name of it. The celestial one was its meaning. Excuse me. The strong order in the lands he had reestablished, laws and regulating he decreed. Governors for each land he appointed, restorations and reclamation was their foremost task. Of him in the royal annals, thus it was recorded. On the lands unified, peace on Nibiru he restored. He built a new city, the canals he repaired, food to the people he provided. There was an abundance in the land. For a spouse, the south, a maiden had chosen. For both love and warring she was noted. On, too, was her royal title. the leader who is On's spouse. The given name cleverly did mean. She bore On 3 sons with no daughters. The firstborn son was named Enki. By a solid foundation, it means. Alone on the throne he was seated, a spouse to choose was twice postponed. In his reign, concubines were brought into the palace. A son to him was not born. The dynasty thus began was by death of Enki disrupted. On the foundation no offspring followed. The middle son, though not the firstborn, the legal heir was pronounced. From his youth, one of 3 brothers, Ib, by his mother, Ib, was lovingly called. The one in the middle is statement. By the boy Arnals, On-Ib, he is named. The kingship celestial by generations, the one who was On's son, is what it signified. He followed his father on Nibiru's throne. By count he was the 3rd reign. The daughter of his younger brother he chose to be his spouse. Nin-Ib, she was called, the lady of Ib. The son of Anib, by Nin-Ib was born. The successor of the throne he was, the 4th by the count of the kings. By the royal name An-Shar-Gal, he wished himself to be known. On's prince, who was the greatest of princes, was his meaning. His spouse, a half-sister, Ki-Sha-Gal, was equally named. Knowledge and understanding were his chief ambition. The ways of the heavens he assiduously studied. The great circuit of Nibiru, who studied the length of the Shar to be fixed. He fixed. In other words, he set the time for a year in Nibiru. As 1 year of Nibiru was a measure by it the royal reigns to be numbered and recorded. The Shar to 10 portions he divided. 2 festivals thereby he pronounced. When the nearest to the sun's quarters, a festival of the warmth was celebrated. When the far abode Nibiru was distant, the festival of coolness was decreed. Replacing all olden festivals of tribes and nations to unify the people, the 2 were established. Laws of husband and wife, the sons and daughters, and decreed he established. Customs from the first tribes he proclaimed to the whole land. From the wars, females greatly outnumbered males. Decrees he made, 1 male to have more than 1 female for knowing. By law, 1 wife as official spouse to be chosen, first wife to be called. By law, the firstborn son was his father's successor. By these laws, confusion soon came about. If the firstborn son, not by the first wife, was born, and thereby the first wife's son was born, by law, the legal heir becoming. Who shall be successor? The one to count Shar's firstborn, or the one first wife born? The firstborn son, the legal heir, who shall inherit, who shall succeed? In the reign of An-Shargal, Kish-Shargal, as first wife was pronounced, a half-sister of the king she was. In An-Shargal reign, concubines were again brought into the palace. Of the concubines, sons and daughters to be king were born. A son of one was first to be born. The son of the concubine was the firstborn. Therefore, Kish-Shargal bore a son. The legal heir by law he was. The firstborn he was not. In the palace, Kish-Shargal raised her voice in anger, shouting, "If by rules my son, my first wife born, from successor shall be barred, let the double seed not be neglected. Though of different mothers, of one father, the king and I are offspring." Seems like a bunch of silly rules for no reason. I just want to put that in there. I am the king's half-sister, of me the king is half-brother, but that my son, the double seed of our father, Anib possess. Let henceforth the law of the seed, the law of spousal overpower. Let henceforth a son be a half-sister, whenever born, above all other sons rise to successor. In other words, if someone is incested born, then that overrides other heirhood, I guess. That's what they're saying. She is saying. And Shargal contemplated the laws of seed embracing with favor. Confusion of spouses and concubines of marriage and divorce, it would be avoided. In the council, the royal counselors, the law of the seed for succession adopted. By the king's order, the scribes' decree recorded. Thus, by the law of the seed of succession was proclaimed. To him the royal name of Anshar was granted. 5th on the throne he was. Now this is the account of the reign of Anshar and the kings who followed. Good, it ends at the right place.